So, got two more of these plaques to find. Ask Malleolus whether he's Quintus.
Salve.
Let's see. I'm Robin. I need you to take care of some things urgent.
Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening. Yulia? Oh no. All right, I can do that. Poor guy. My uncle was a victim at rheumatism's altar, and he ended up killing himself. All right, got it. All right, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Alright, and then we stop. Actually, let's check this, because I don't think I've ever... 250. Okay. Do I have... I don't have enough money. But there's money all over the place. If I just find it, I can probably make up enough. Okay, how much more? 800. What's this door? Have I been here before? Oh no, don't want to be here. Dang it. The game's kind of frozen. And the dialogue's messed up as well.
All right, well, it was lovely to...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh, no. No. No, 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 no.
I don't have enough money to
Orpheus,
stop
what are you
him.
doing?
That's the idea.
What?
What? I'm s
Please, help him.
You. Well, you don't understand. It's if I. Oh, really? But we're still. No. I am out. Wherever you are. Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Orpheus, no!
Damn it!
I'll have to... And I'd bet...
Okay. So... follow Octavia. Something I didn't think of before. Where did she go?
Citizen. This is not where I would expect her to go to find Malleolus. Or is it? No. Definitely not. Okay. Carving with a symbol of a fish carved into it. Looks like it might be religious in nature. Okay. So that's where the secret shrine is. How do I get in? Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Countered by To the Lions with your cultist. Shadows right, so that's the secret shrine back there. Oh. next to the lake here. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on. Fudge. So. Okay. Right, that's gonna be enough, right? $2,009. No, no, no.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm. Now just what is it, citizen?
You the one threatening Virgil?
What? Absolutely not. I know someone's been threatening him, and I'm not happy about it. But I can assure you, it isn't me.
Fair enough.
All right?
Malleolus isn't receiving.
You the one threatening Virgil?
Do I seem like anonymous threats of my style?
Kinda.
You don't know Sturkus. Whatever.
Alright.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Ugh, this place has become a thoroughfare.
I'm gonna save the game and try something. This is going to be Paradox, right?
This is a rather strange first impression, but I'm going to have to overlook it for reasons that will soon become clear. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you?
I'm Robin, and we've had this conversation.
We have? Wait, if I understand correctly, someone is about to break the Golden Rule, forcing me to create a portal in time to bring you here? I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Only, I assume we failed, and you had to start over. Is that about right? If so, what happened?
Stop it from being broken.
Ah, look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now. Now, I assume you sought me.
I'd like you to release Dooley.
You mean Duilius? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. That man is a liability we simply cannot afford. Perhaps you're not aware he was caught multiple times, sneaking around in places he should not have been.
What exactly did he do?
Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you that is not the case. You may not be aware of this, but it was not so long ago, during the Republic, The law of the 12 tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and most importantly, he is able to continue living. A privilege that would be taken away from all of us were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass. The man has no self-discipline, poor comprehension of what is going on around him, and is an incorrigible rule breaker. I will not jeopardize the lives of my people so that one man can go free. Now, was there something else? Thank you. I'll be waiting. Citizen. Don't be so foolish. If you kill me, we all die. Allow me to explain. When I discovered the ritual to Proserpina, the instructions came with a warning about paradoxes. The crux of it is this. If you do anything to change the course of history in such a way that your very being here is impossible, you will have created a paradox. To illustrate, when the Golden Rule is broken, I will open the doorway that will bring you here to prevent it from being broken. If you manage to succeed in saving our lives, then I will have no reason to open the doorway, and you will never have come here. A paradox. You see? The same thing would happen if you, say, inadvertently, allowed me to die. If I can't summon you, then you can't be here, obviously. If either of those things were to happen, I am given to understand you would be flung back to your original time, having changed the course of history for us and yourself.
So if I killed you, everyone would die and then return to my original timeline with the way back.
Indeed.
I need to reflect like this.
Thank you. I'll be waiting here for news.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
I just want to see what ending this is. It's probably the worst one.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Al Worth, I came in here to find you.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Robin. I was hoping you'd know who I am.
Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well, trying. My Latin is kinda rusty, but the last entry mentioned someone with the same name. It described an event about 2,000 years ago. Someone with your name appeared in the city out of the shrine of Proserpina and murdered a local magistrate, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said that the voice of a furious god rang out, and the ground trembled and statues sprang to life, firing arrows at the city's inhabitants. Apparently, as the citizens screamed and died in pain, the stranger just vanished in a flash of light.
Weird. Definitely wasn't me.
I didn't for one moment think it was, but the way you say that makes me wonder. I mean, how many people with that name could there be in this place? I don't understand how you could have been here 2,000 years ago.
When I arrived here in the present day for the first time, I have found your corpse hanging from a noose.
I'm sorry, come again?
I still have the suicide note you carved into this tablet. Here.
Let me see that. God, why does this writing look so familiar? I've spent a lifetime in this place going around and around in circles. This is disturbing, but I don't understand how I could have written it.
It's written by a different version of me. I changed the past and your fate.
I'm not following.
I killed the man who opened the time portal, drew you back in time, preventing it from ever happening.
So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never created a time portal, so I never went through it, and that's why I don't... remember any of this.
Now you're getting it.
I guess. So what you're really saying is, you brought me back from the dead to let me die all over again. You saw the tablet. I spent a lifetime searching for a way out and never found one. I can't see how I could possibly find one now, so it seems like we're both gonna die here.
I regret nothing.
How can you say that? You murdered a man in cold blood, and now there's a city full of dead people. It's only a matter of time before we join them. I guess all those old Latin inscriptions were right. Pro peccata unius multis dolabunt. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst ending. Okay. Curiosity satisfied. Let's go back and do this properly. Okay.
Oh, another one fresh out of the baths, I take it.
On your best behavior, I trust?
Isn't the great temple majestic?
I know it.
Name's Rufius. Better watch.
Salve, friend.
You're the one for
No idea what.
Fair enough.
See you around.
Okay, so how do I get... Let's see... Sinner... Have a look through their homes. So, where does Rufius live? That's Virgil's chest.
Salve.
Back off. Okay, definitely not here. Sinner. Let's track this one. Okay. Ow. So that's a dice tower. It's got Denarius in there. Can you imagine sleeping in this room? With those standing there. So this is Rufius's chest. This is your final warning, sinner.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their traits,
Appreciate about the dreams
imitating
I've
their
had.
previous
She said
lives,
it might
but they
help her
are
divine their meaning if I wrote
ignorant.
them down.
This
It happened again last night.
You're in a
Man
world of
Vitamin
your
was
own,
there
aren't
as
you?
always. His face shrouded in shadow from that peculiar ram headdress. Once again, he introduced himself as Kerti and told me he'd drag me from the river. He seemed to smirk as he said his name, as if it meant something I could not understand. Indeed, the name rings a bell, but I cannot for the life of me remember where I heard it. I do not think I will sleep soundly again until I know. Who is Kerti? Well, we already know the answer to that. Okay, so Rufus is definitely the one.
You,
who's the threat.
Tantalus, cannot catch the drops.
No, it's definitely the one that's threatening Virgil. The question is, how do we stop him from doing that? Maybe he's feeling a bit more reasonable now that he, well, presumably Galerius cured his rheumatism.
Ah, you again.
Uh-huh.
No idea what you're talking.
I know it was your friend an incomplete letter to him, of course.
Look, I haven't been at my best lately. I know that. It's the rheumatism. It starts with constant pain in all your joints. Then the pain starts to mess with your head. Makes you angry, mean. I know that's not an excuse for how I acted. But it's the truth. But with the willow bark, I'm already starting to feel like myself again. I'll leave him alone from now on. It's not as if I was ever going to hurt him anyway. I was just lashing out. I'm going to go and clean up the graffiti. Just forget this ever happened. Will you?
Alright, no problem. Yep. Okay. What? Okay. Right. I'm gonna have to reset this day, so this is gonna be undone as soon as I do that.
Ah, a new face. Salve, I hear we have you to thank for saving.
Don't worry about Fred. It's just Rufus. He's never gonna.
What demon or spirit told you about that?
I found an in his house.
You went snooping in his place? That was risky. We're lucky you didn't cross any lines.
Yes, and he won't be bothering me.
Really? How did you manage that?
And the treatment for his rheumatism, and from making him agitated and his other personal issues.
Poor fellow. I've heard that can really mess with a person's head. Well done for figuring that out.
Happy to help. I think he wants to help clean up his graffiti too.
Really? That's promising. I'll keep an eye out for him.
I'll be going now.
Nice to talk to you.
Okay. Adventurous man, having Galerius elected magistrate is the only way to free Dooley from his cell.
Keeping an eye on things, Horatius?
As always, Priest.
I need to get into Galerius's place, which means I have to go back here. confront him about being the guy that the assassin is looking for, maybe that will be something I can hold over him. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And now, I make this solemn promise to you. Did you just leap into my villa from the balcony 100 feet above? That was either extremely reckless or impressively clever. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me?
So, you're a Quinctus.
My name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else.
You have one green eye and one blue eye, just like the description in this execution order from Emperor Nero.
You mean my heterochromia? I am guilty of nothing more than having different colored eyes. And I'm hardly the only person with the condition. Alexander the Great had it too, as it happens. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to mark a natural-born ruler. Nothing more.
Apparently, Quinctius also suffers from delusions of grandeur.
Well, I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly establish.
I can't prove it's you yet, but I will.
Unlikely, because it simply isn't true. Now, was there something else you wanted?
I'll be going now.
I trust you can see yourself out. Through the door this time? There's a key just beside it.
I don't know why I need to keep picking this up every time, because I've definitely picked it up before. Note from Yulia, suicide note, already read that. If there's any evidence, it's gotta be in his villa somewhere, right?
I'm not supposed to be in here.
Can we talk?
Talk? What business could you possibly have with me?
How would you like some help getting back at Malleolus?
An intriguing proposition. Go on.
I don't think Malleolus is who he says he is.
Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look. What makes you say that?
Just a hunch. I was hoping we could figure out his true identity together.
You know, I may have the very thing you're looking for. Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only, he used the wrong name. Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, the name he got wrong was his own. I confronted him about it, and he stammered through some incoherent response. I let it go, eventually, and yet questions have lingered in the back of my mind ever since. But wait a minute. Why exactly are you helping me?
I want to force him to withdraw from the election.
To withdraw? Listen, I may not be Penelope to his Ulysses, but to ruin his plans to become a magistrate? You must think me quite mad. I've heard enough. Get out of here at once. Donitius, come quickly. We're being robbed.
Oh.
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little
Okay. So I know how to... I need to get her to help me, but that was not the way to do it. I thought that might be a way to climb up there, but it's not. I could just climb up this way. And it just takes me here. What is this? Where is this? Line carving. It's Horatius's chest. Matters, but make sure anyway.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
It would be a thing to drag me who could remain with you. But death must either not come at all, or else must come and pass away.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that?
I'm Robin, and I need you to take care of some things urgently.
Sounds serious. Yulia? Oh no. All right, I can do that. Poor Virgil. Poor Rufius too, I guess. Alright, got it. Alright, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood. But how did you... Alright, of course. I'll make sure this gets to him.
That's it. Now go as fast as
I'll
you can.
go. But once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Alright. I gotta go find. While he's doing that, I'll see if I can get some money back, just in case I have to do this day again. There's something back here, right? Yep. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It's probably there.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
Because I know how to use it responsibly most of the time. You done?
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff, I bet it's worth it. Hey, Virgil.
Is there anything here? Can't remember. has finished his errand yet. Where is he? So I guess what's he got to say for himself now? Oh no! Come on, game, don't do this to me.
Don't believe a word they tell you. Sentius, I suppose. I'd have to be in... I don't. Well, neither of us have a couple of hours to stand around talk. Obliged, of course. Thanks. All right, friend.
All right.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
Stop complaining. That's the villa I need to get into. Since I'm here, let's go down.
Hey! You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
I know. I know about your
Well,
future. Don't worry.
it's your funeral.
I'm gonna need you to get away, sorry. How are we doing? Not quite enough. Come on. Alright.
It's no use. You'll never persuade him of anything. You're making a mistake.
Can I convince him to let her go? Nice. Okay, that's enough. I think. Yeah, that's more than enough. Okay, where's the way out? Back here. Suppose we could try and talk.
Keep an eye out for Centilla, will you?
Sentius out of this. I don't think it's gonna go well.
Whatever are you wearing?
We're finally alone. I assume you...
I'm Robin.
We have?
Methods.
Is that a... Seems rather brash.
I know what you did to Centilla. You're keeping her tied up in the system.
You know, you remind me of him. Al Worth. The fellow who came through the portal before you.
Remember?
Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only one. You see, my connection to the port. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you're a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rule. He was a moralistic, and because of that fatal flaw, I watched him come through the portal. And when he finally saw... The next time I awoke, I mean, you've lived through the day. What? 8 times most. And yet everything you... Because there's no escape. Except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about. So, you discovered my secret. Why? Isn't it obvious? And as long as this day keep... I have found a way to...
Hand over the keys.
And why would I... You and your pathetic morality. Nobody cares about your opinion. Understand that, to me, you've never been anything more than a useful idiot.
If you don't hand over, you might have an uprising.
You might want to think that through. If anyone so much as touches me, everyone dies.
This isn't.
I certainly hope not. In fact, I want it to go on and on forever. until you wither and die like Al did, and the gods send yet another useful idiot to extend my life for me.
I'll find a way to break the cycle. And you.
What are you going to do? Beg the gods for help? They don't care about you, and neither do I. Now, get out of my villa. I'm bored with you.
So that completes
Are
that
they?
quest. Presumably because it's a fool's errand.
Whatever are you wearing?
On your best behaviour, I trust?
So you survived the system. Probably just a stroke of it.
Dwarf, yeah, I have the key. I don't need to wait.
Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here without a hefty tribute, so you must... My name is... You... And I like to... Unlikely. I trust...
Okay, so let's not botch this conversation this time. Hey, Claudia.
I'm not supposed to be in here.
Can we talk?
Talk? You know, now I confronted him. I let it go, but I couldn't agree more. One hand washes the other. As they say, it seems our interests are aligned. I imagine knowing his true identity will give me the leverage I need to manage him appropriately. But first, I need you to do something for me.
Yeah, what do you want?
I want you to bring me some wine. Just one small urn should do it. Oh, don't look at me like that. I know this must be hard for you to wrap your sweet little pleb head around. So what do you need me to spell out?
Why do you want wine?
Let me tell you something about Malleolus. He talks a lot about freedom, but what he doesn't tell you is that he means freedom for men. After all I've done for him, counselling him through his entire election campaign, and he had the audacity to lock me in here. He said it was for my own good, and that my drinking was unbecoming of a lady, let alone the wife of a magistrate. I'll show him unbecoming. Tonight, at his victory party, I'm going to get good and merry, and if he tries to discipline me again, I'll threaten to expose his true identity in front of everyone. I am so looking forward to it.
You can't get it yourself?
You mean, aside from the fact that I'm locked in this room, because there's barely any left in the city. In fact, there's only one small...
I solved the question in my head. I have some wine right here.
Thank you. Here's the letter. Now, perhaps you can tell me who Quinctius really is.
According to this bounty letter from Emperor Nero, he's the person who started the fires in Rome last year.
What? He's... Oh no. That's... quite a lot more serious than I imagined. I only wanted some leverage over him, not to destroy him. Give me that immediately. Nobody else must know. What? No. You tricked me. You mendacious little stirkers.
I didn't lie to you.
It was a lie of a mission. You were planning this all along and you deliberately concealed it. May Jupiter cut you down.
Going there.
I curse you. I curse your life and mind and memory. May you be unable to walk or eat or drink. May this drag you to the depths. This is outrageous.
Well, no thunderous voice, so I got away with it. Hey, Mal. We need to talk.
You again. What is it now?
I want you to withdraw from the election.
Are you insane? You barge into my villa uninvited and then make outrageous demands? Why would I withdraw from an election I'm bound to win?
Because I know you're Quinctius. Your wife gave me your love letter, and Nero wants you dead.
So, it finally caught up with me. I suppose that makes you, what? One of Nero's assassins?
No, I'm not. Fortunately for you.
So, you're not going to kill me?
Not if you withdraw from the election immediately and release everyone in debt bondage to you.
Oh, so much work and money. Oh, well, if I do it, you'd let me live?
I will.
Fine. Ruling this cesspit of a city would have been beneath me anyway. I'll have Domitius notify the priestess of my withdrawal and release those two from debt bondage. There. You got what you wanted. Now, please, leave my villa and never speak to me again.
Lovely. That's a way to get rid of debt bondage without paying 2,000.
I hope you have a good reason for flouting my weapons ban.
Oh yeah.
Keep an eye out for
Keeping an
Scintilla,
eye on
would you?
things, Horatius?
As always, priestess.
Any news about Scintilla, Navia, or Kabash?
No sign of any of them, I'm afraid. But we do have a newcomer. Strangely dressed woman.
Where's Galerius? I need Galerius to agree
Then let's
to
make
run.
sure she feels welcome, shall we?
Probably be around the farm, right? Where is the farm? I do wonder why there's a Wait, why is the music? What's going on? What's going on? Why is the music turned sinister again?
So you survived the system. Probably just a stroke of fortuna. Don't get cocky.
Where's Galerius?
Oh,
Fear
there.
is proof of a degenerate mind.
is he?
Be careful who you trust.
What's going on? Why is the music being...
Salve.
Yulia? Come on, where is he? Where is Galerius? Actually, before that, I need to talk to...
So you survived the cistern. Probably just a stroke of fortune. Don't get cocky.
Come on. Where was it? Where was the cell they're keeping them in? Moshi? Let's test that.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
It's not showing me a path here.
So you survived the cistern.
Come on, where is Galerius? He's usually hanging out near the town centre. What's that? That's Tim. There's an idea. I could talk to the priestess.
I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Music is really worrying me.
I hope you're coping.
Coping with what? news is I don't need to collect the money all the time now because I can just give Galerius the blackmail material for. It's gotta be somewhere nearby, right?
So you survived the cistern. Probably just a stroke.
It's not back here. That's not where I want to be. Come on, there you are.
I beg you. Oh my. Let's see. We don't have much to go on. Hercules, the demigod. Hercules was a Sisyphus and finally. So it seemed. May 4th. Ave again. It must be it'll be between Sentius. Why do you ask? I like the idea, but I know Galerius. It was only yesterday that he said to me he'd only ever run if it. So, I suppose if you'd like to see. I like the idea. It was so. Certainly. See you.
Okay, I need to find Galerius. The game's frozen. Why is the game frozen? Okay. That tells me where Dooley is at least. It's frozen again.
Hello? Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today? Fortune smile.
Do you
on you,
like it?
sister.
It's... But... Well... Like... Yeah, Galerius will let me out. Then you can have my... Bye-bye.
He was right here. Where did he go?
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff.
Maybe he went the other way. That's where the forum is. Almost went over the. are.
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them?
I'm reliving the same day over and over again.
You're toying with me, right? Wait, you're not kidding, are you? That's the only way you could have known. You're a bit like... oh, Sisyphus. Sisyphus, he was forced... Tantal... oh. Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend. So, I'll tell you what. Anytime, friend. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Oh, and if our conversation... Salve again, my... Now. I've bounced the idea, but from what I hear, and how could you... Oh, well, in that case, if you can do that... All right, friend. Hope you find a way to...
Okay. Now we can start the election.
Citizen.
Ave again. It'll be... Why do you up? As I said, I'm planning to hold it before dusk. Well, I wouldn't describe impatient. Very well. Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
Let's see how it goes this time. You said you were gonna withdraw, right?
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and Marcus Malleolus Gurges. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Sentius.
Dacius.
We're supposed to drop out.
Galerius?
What's going on?
I abstain. I'm just here to observe.
Virgil.
Sentius.
Ulpius.
Sentius.
Rufius.
Malleolus.
And finally, Domitius?
Malleolus. Who else?
Citizens, you have made your decision. Sextus Sentius Imperiosus.
My fellow citizens, you've placed your trust in me once again, and you won't regret it. I vow that each day henceforth will be just like this one, and I will deliver.
You and your arrival, whatever your name is. You're responsible for this, aren't you? Nobody likes Caput Murdae foreigners interfering in an election.
Shut up and let the magistrate speak.
Malleolus is gonna be magistrate by the end of the day.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem.
Wait, I will not allow you to do this.
You're showing your true colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies! It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is. A children's fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
The Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm gonna enjoy killing you, old man.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. Mine? Oh, Yulia. Poor. All right. What? Are you? You're serious, aren't you? I doubt Domitius will let me talk to him, but I'll make sure he passes on. I'll go.
Okay, follow him.
The 49 melodies fetch again with incessant.
Fabia, listen.
There's a troublemaker coming into the city.
I know, and I'll take care of him. Just go and hide, but not in the empty shrine.
Wait, how did you know I was headed in there?
No time to explain. Go!
All right, I'll be in my bakery. Thank you, Galerius.
Don't shoot. I'm no threat. You'll find what you're looking for in the avenue. Second building on your left. I've got to run.
Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
Lucretia, no time to explain. I'm supposed to give you the Sylphium resin for Yulia.
What? Quick, give it here.
I'm just going to help her swallow this. I think she's going to be all right. Galerius, you're amazing. How did you know?
I was just doing what the new lady told me.
I don't understand. How did... Never mind. Thank you so much for Another minute.
Can't stay. Places to be. Salve, Rufius. I hear your rheumatism has you so riled up you've been harassing Virgil.
What? My condition is nobody's business but mine.
There's no need for that. I just wanted to give you this willow bark to help you treat it.
A treatment? Really? Thank God. Finally, some relief after all this time. Thank you, Galerius. You're a good man. And I'll be sure to leave Virgil alone. I know I haven't been at my best lately.
Appreciate that. Now, I've got to run.
What now?
I have a message from Malleolus.
Yeah? Who's it from?
The Emperor. He knows Malleolus's real name is Quinctius, thanks to Claudia, and demands he withdraw from the election and release Ulpius and Iulia immediately.
Are you out of your mind, farm boy?
Domitius, that's enough.
What? You're not going to listen to this dolt, are you?
Galerius, all right, I'll withdraw, and Ulpius and Julia are free. I trust our business is concluded?
Yes, that ought to do it. I guess I'll go and tell Ulpius the good news then.
Citizen.
Good news, Ulpius. Malleolus has agreed to release you and Iulia from your debts.
What? Are you messing with me?
I wouldn't do that. You're both free.
We're free. We're free. Thank you. It seems fortune smiles on us after all. I'd better go and pay a visit to Iulia immediately.
Citizen.
Iulia! I'm so glad you didn't go through with it.
It wasn't for lack of trying. And now Malleolus is going to... Wait. Why do you look so happy?
We're free. Malleolus just released us and we never have to set foot in that villa again.
What? How?
Galerius arranged it somehow.
Really? That's... incredible. Oh, what a relief. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything.
Welcome.
Just rest up, get your strength back, and we'll celebrate properly when you're ready.
I will. Thank you, Ulpius. I will.
Shalom, friend. Galerius. He saved my life. I have a feeling he can do a lot more if given the chance. All right, friend.
Welcome.
Salve. Hello. Well, I'll take your word for it. But perhaps you'd be interested. Now you're talking, I'm interested. How about Oh, that's a little excessive, don't you think? It's... All right, all right. Wait. Let's not be too hasty. I suppose you're right. Here's your money. Now. What? But I already knew that, you imbecile. I can't take that golden bow because stealing from the goddess in... You promised to tell me where I could get... What is this? Don't even talk to me.
That was funny.
Ah, a new face. I hear... Galerius, definitely. He put an end to the notes and graffiti I've been receiving. All right. Nice to talk.
Okay, so people are saying they're gonna vote for Galerius.
Salve.
Who is now disappeared. You're probably gonna vote for...
What is it,
Sanctuary
Citizen? Not that it's any... Alright.
And you're gonna vote for...
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
Let's see before I go talk to Domitius, because I want to make sure he doesn't interfere.
How come you're allowed a weapon? What now? I'm not going.
Alright.
Whatever.
So I feel like that's that then. Just need to find Galerius. Presumably Galerius has already decided to run.
Hello? Hello? Do you like... But... Like... Yeah. Bye-bye.
Greetings. I'm George. My... Galerius. Did you know he saved the life of my young... But of course... I hope...
Okay. I think that's enough people wanting to vote for Galerius.
A new fate. It must be complete. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Galerius, the challenger. As I said... Yes. Very well. Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
Time to go to the theater.
You said you weren't going, why are you running that way, huh?
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus, and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helver. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
Man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helver.
What?
It's been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
It gladdens my heart that
Sometimes I
Galerius
stare at the great temple on the
I
bluff.
will say.
I think, whatever is in there, it has to be important.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Blood Galerius won. He deserved it.
Fortune smiles on you today, Julius. Magistrate Galerius here has ordered your release.
You're going to let me out of here?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Come on.
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've...
Okay, Dewey.
Hello? I'm Dooley. Magistrate Galerius said I should thank the newcomer. Are you the newcomer?
That's me.
Oh, it is you. Then, thank you. You're a big helper. I was locked up, but they let me out again. I'm so happy.
You're welcome.
You can have my shiny plaque if you want. And maybe you can help me find my treasure. My friend Hannibal used to look after me, and he said he always would. But then he died. But before that, he told me if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious. What was in there? Was it gold and pearls and... I'm confused. Hannibal said it was a precious secret. It's not a treasure.
It is precious, just not in the way we thought.
Oh, All right. I trust you. Oh, look over there. Something shining. Is it treasure? Maybe it is treasure. I can see it for myself. So pretty. And it's just lying out here in the open. Maybe nobody wants it anymore. Maybe no one will mind.
No, Dooley.
Just
no.
Take it.
Don't you dare.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
I hate that Sentius was right about that. I hate it.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost? Oh, so... You... Oh, all right. I'll go.
It's time to go to the temple. Come on. Dooley said he was going to give me the...
How did... Never mind. Thank you so much.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
Okay, so... Dooley... It's over here.
Salve, Ruffius. I hear your rheumatism has you so riled up you've been harassing Virgil.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
Hello? Hello? Do you like it? But... like... Yeah. Bye-bye. Hello. Bye bye.
What now?
I have a message from Malleolus.
Yeah?
The Emperor. He knows Malleolus' real name is Quintius, thanks to Claudia, and demands he withdraw from the election and release Orpheus and Julia immediately.
I'll be right back. I just let Galerius do his stuff while I'm away.
As you wish, sir. Priestess, Malleolus has decided to withdraw from the election.
Oh, well, that's surprising, but thank you for telling me. I'll let everyone know. Citizens, I have an announcement. Malleolus has withdrawn his candidacy from today's election. Unless any new challengers are nominated by nightfall, Sentius will be re-elected magistrate by default.
Actually, I'd like to nominate myself, if that's all right.
Of course, Galerius. That's your right. Citizens, the election will proceed.
Salve again, friend. How is it? Sisyphus forced
I already told
Tangela.
you this. Come on.
Anyway, oh. Oh. Now, I'm going to... Oh, and if our...
A new face. It'll be... Why do you up? As I... Hmm.
Hello? Hello?
As per our custom, I shall begin by paying my respects to the god responsible for this city, for continued prosperity and tranquil seclusion. He deserves our admiration, but here I must depart from custom. For his attempt at imposing strict rule upon us is oppressive and overreaching, and deserving of our contempt. Who among us has not awoken the night in the cold sweat and
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helva.
What?
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you've put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
I bet Galerius only won by bribing people. Outrageous! Where was my bribe?
Blood Galerius won. He deserved it.
Fortune smiles on you today, Julius. Magistrate Galerius here has ordered your release.
You're going to let me out?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Oh, thank you. Can have, and maybe you could, my friend but what was, maybe it is treasure. I can see it for myself. So pretty, and it's just lying out here in the open. Maybe nobody can see it. Maybe no one will mind if I just. Don't you dare.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. Well, you... Poor... All right. I'll go.
here's a question. Are the plaques still there, or do I have to find them again? Yes, they're still there. Right, so this wouldn't be Osiris then. What the fuck? Looks incredibly sci-fi all of a sudden.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
Are you responsible for the Golden Rule?
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my duty.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. All the women, too, were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching. and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
So you're responsible for destroying all these lives?
I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it.
These both golden bows come from?
When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. A consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies.
What do you consider a sin?
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
It doesn't seem like you've been upholding it either.
Enough. You clearly know nothing.
How do you know when people sin? I've seen some terrible things here that you didn't consider a sin. How could you let them happen?
Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
Abduction.
Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it. He did so because she sought to escape, a sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree?
I disagree with that.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately.
No, of course not. Never mind.
Now tell me,
Experiments in the golden statues.
the midwife in the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
She wouldn't want to be experimented upon if she was gilded.
The rule is do unto others, meaning other people, Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine. Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
Debt bondage.
You speak of the moneylender. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
He wouldn't want to be trapped in a 30-year labor contract because of a loan.
And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others.
The whole concept of debt bondage, like slavery, is unethical. It's illegal under international law where I'm from.
Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority. This is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty where you're from?
It's customary to take out a loan to buy a house, and in some places to pay for an education.
I see. And how long might it take such a person to repay their debt?
Depends. Typically decades, sometimes their entire life.
I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman signing over his labor for 30 years.
It's not the same thing.
Supposing you're right, and my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
Of course not. Price gouging for life-saving medicine.
The merchant. How is that inconsistent with the rule I've outlined?
You wouldn't want someone else to demand an outrageous price for the medicine he needed if he was dying.
I disagree. Having watched this merchant, that is precisely what he would expect from others, and he would be quite capable of paying the price anyway.
You can't know what he would expect, you're just speculating.
Applying this rule always requires speculation to some degree. It requires us to ask what another person would want if they found themselves in another situation.
Doesn't that make it inherently subjective and unreliable?
Not if we're wise enough to know the mind of man.
And you think you know the minds of other people?
Supposing you're right, and my law has been broken.
Suicide.
I've seen no such thing. Taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not one that is done to others, however they may be affected by it. Therefore, it cannot be said that one... Now tell me, what other sin...
It's no wonder people say the gods are cruel. This just shows how unreliable and subjective your moral code is. You're no better at judging right from wrong than any human.
Do you honestly think you could do better?
No, but that's my point. Nobody's grasp of right and wrong is so perfect that you can be trusted with all this power. You become a tyrant.
I should strike you down for that.
And if you did, you'd be proving my point.
Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning?
How do you know when people sin?
I'm able to commune with all of the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes.
Is Proserpina connected to the statues in the same way?
If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
No reason.
Then what an odd question.
Let us talk about something else.
Very well.
What's your story?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
You're a god?
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
Really? Why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. Desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
Who is the woman on your left?
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long.
Who is that on your right?
That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutabal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
Is it your true form?
No. Long ago I swore to Proserpina that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Let's talk about something else.
As you wish.
What is this place?
It has come to be known simply as the Underworld. And it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
What wager?
That is a long story. One that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting. There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina. As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
How did you decide who comes here?
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's Obol, or as coins for the ferrymen. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for, only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Proserpina's along with it.
How did humans learn about the underworld?
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place, in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, Your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth.
Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Alright, I will be right back before I finish this bit. I'm back. Alright, so I've run out of questions. So he's probably about to try and remove me from this somehow.
Good. Then now it is time for your reckoning. Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here? If that is true, then I sense the intervention of...
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you?
He cannot know.
I was hoping you could tell me.
I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpine has slumbered for 3,000 years.
Guess that means you don't know everything that goes on here.
Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek?
I want you to put an end to the Golden Rule.
Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called Golden Rule?
How can you expect us to live without sin if you can't do it yourself?
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it?
Didn't you abduct Proserpine and imprison her here?
I am well aware of the story told by the Greeks and Romans of my so-called abduction. It is entirely unfair. My love was dying, and I intervened the only way I could to save her life. What would you have done?
Didn't she choose this?
It was an act of rebellion against the others. She knew I would have to act to save her, and I did because I loved her. I love her still. Accordingly, I reject your argument.
You've trapped people in this city against their will.
These people were all dead when my servant found them. I gave them a second chance at life. Would you prefer to have simply ceased to exist?
Maybe.
Then you still have the option to end your life should you wish. And you are no... Accordingly,
You've given terrible punishments to hundreds of people. Some for minor sins and some who committed no sins at all.
Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them.
If our positions were reversed, you wouldn't want me to punish you for the sins of other people.
Ah, but I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights?
No.
Of course not. Because that would be absurd, just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals.
What makes your kind superior to mine?
Where to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by thousands of years, in which time we accumulate vast wisdom and a mastery of technology you cannot begin to imagine.
Why does wisdom and technology make you superior?
Because that is the source of our power over you.
So you think you're not obliged to treat us fairly because you're more powerful than us?
You could say that.
What was it the Roman Stoic said? Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you.
My kin have no superiors.
But didn't you say Jupiter was your leader? There's a hierarchy within your kin.
That is true. Go on.
So are you treating humans the way you would wish Jupiter to treat you?
Make your point, mortal.
I'm saying, if you can't follow your own rule, how can you expect humans to?
Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no. The very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster?
It's the truth. You've committed atrocities and you need to own up to it.
Your hubris grows tiresome. You will make a fine statue.
Enough talk. I'm going to end this.
Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon?
Let's find out, shall we? You may be immortal, but your beloved isn't.
How dare you threaten her? This ends now.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost? Oh. Yulia. All right. I'll...
Hang on, I need to untangle myself a little bit here. I should do it.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. No girl, but the one, and I've been watched. And what is more, that there will be first.
See this? It's Proserpina's crown.
I would recognize that anywhere. And yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it?
I took it from her after I killed her in another timeline.
You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it.
I didn't want to kill her, but if you don't put an end to the golden rule, I will do it again.
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium humiliated and alone.
That's the idea.
Perhaps you are cleverer than you appear. I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Proserpina was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this. If I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever see.
We can't. We just want to return to the world.
Very well. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Al Worth, I came in here to find you.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Robin. I was hoping you'd know who I am.
Know who you are? I barely remember how I got here myself. Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to her. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Sounds a bit far-fetched.
I don't know, it reads like an earnest account to me. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Right behind you.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Good idea.
You go on ahead, and I'll be there soon.
Let's go see Karen.
You're back! But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found him. He'll be here in a moment.
Ah, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
I discovered you're not who you said you were. I remember meeting you 2,000 years ago.
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Who are you, really?
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
What truth is that?
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
How did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Yes, I want to know.
As you wish. You were murdered. You were falsely accused of a terrible crime, and fled into the wild to evade your accusers. On your final night, you were offered sanctuary in the cottage of a stranger who gave you food and money, including, by accident, a coin of ancient origin. Unfortunately, you were apprehended and attacked by authorities. Your host leapt to your aid. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not.
My host
There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here.
Huto said the coins Al and I had were the last in existence. What does that mean for you?
It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here, nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
What's so special about these coins?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Yes, Pluto mentioned my coin was the last in existence.
Yeah? I'm still streaming. Yeah, I'm just about finished. Okay.
Pluto mentioned that my coin was the last in existence. What does that mean for you?
It means there is nobody else.
Can you return us to the land of the living?
I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Alright, Karen. Ferry us home.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read about your trial in the news. Congratulations on your acquittal. Still, I'm sorry you had to go through all that. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet. And I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Oh, there she is! You're finally here. Remember me?
Galerius? What are you doing here?
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
You think we should now?
I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
I'd love that. Count me in. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
It's good to see you again, Galerius.
Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you.
Good to see you too, Adventure.
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
How's Lydia?
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
I'll do that. It was good to see you again, Equitia.
See you at the wedding, I hope.
Hello, I'm Dooley.
I remember you, Dooley.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
I'm sorry you never found your treasure.
Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories. It's my favourite thing.
Story boxes are great, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fun.
It was good to see you again, Dooley.
Bye-bye.
Hi there, I'm Horatius.
Hi, Horatius.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life, and reuniting Scintilla with us as well. So, thank you.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
I'm sorry you never got to see your girl again.
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
Well said.
Thanks. Oh, and I don't know if you've heard, but a few of us are going for drinks later. It'd be nice to, chat with you some more.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
Great.
Whatever happened to your buddy, Domitius?
He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC, so he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Sounds like you got what you deserved.
You're not wrong.
It was good to see you again, Horatius.
See you at drinks later, I hope.
Hey. I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
Good to see you again, Sentia.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
What happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
He did once tell me he wanted to live forever.
Then I suppose he got his wish.
Good to see you again, Cynthia.
You too. See you around.
Evening.
You're the Oracle, right?
Robin is fine.
Oh, of course. Sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about.
Seeing the world through fresh eyes sounds wonderful.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day.
Whatever happened to Malleolus and Claudia?
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
I think you're allowed to feel that way.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Whatever happened to Aurelia?
Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently, he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck.
Don't worry. Something tells me she's going to get what she deserves.
Well, you are the Oracle, so I suppose I'll take your word for it. Huh. I feel better already. Thank you.
Good to see you again, Yulia.
You too! If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
Might take you up on that.
I hope so.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you.
Hello, Lucretia.
Lucy is fine.
Lucy?
I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So...
what are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
It's good to see you, Lucy.
You too. Don't be a stranger.
I take it you're the Oracle everybody's talking about. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
We've met before, though I wouldn't expect you to remember it.
We have? I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I'm Philip. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
Good to see you again.
My sincere thanks once again.
Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius.
Good to see you, Georgius.
I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades.
Hello.
And for that, I am most grateful.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
Thank you, Georgius. Perhaps I will. Good to see you again.
You too, my friend.
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia.
Hi, Fabia.
I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure.
You're welcome.
I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you. I really am.
Good to see you again.
You too.
Some soiree, innit?
Good evening.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Nice to see you too, Octavia.
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
What are you doing these days?
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him.
Sounds like a noble cause. Good on you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Good to see you again, Octavia.
And you.
Greetings.
Good to see you looking well, Olivia.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
Read any good poems like that?
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
Well said. Good to see you again.
And you. Farewell, friend.
Let's talk to this guy then.
Ah, hello at last. You must be the Oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Daisius.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
No need to thank me, it was entirely unintended.
Such acerbic wit. I love it.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the Oracle and Future Seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
Wouldn't help you even if I could.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
DVD rentals have a bright future.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm gonna make a bloody fortune.
I'll be going now.
Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
Good evening.
Hello.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle.
Thanks, Gabash.
You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an Oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Thank you, Oracle.
Hello there.
Hi, Centella.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
Sounds like he got what he deserved. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
I might just do that. Good to see you again, Gabriella.
Thanks. You too.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius.
Good to see you too, Ulpius.
I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake, I'll be forever in your debt.
What are you doing these days?
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier.
I'm glad.
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
Good to see you, Ulpius.
You too.
Evening.
Game's frozen a little bit, I think. I'll be right back while it's catching up.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you too, Rufius.
I go by Rufus now.
Rufus.
New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for telling Galerius how to treat my rheumatism. I probably would have lost my mind if it wasn't for that willow bark. Although, I think your people have a different name for it. Aspirin, I believe. Thank you. Really. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
What are you doing these days?
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time.
Turns out you were right. The statues really were watching us.
Huh. Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant.
That is unfortunately true. It's good to see you again, Rufus.
You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Good to see you, Virgil.
I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow.
What are you doing these days?
I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam. Just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
Good to see you again, Virgil.
You too. As Rufus said in his own laconic way, if you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
I may just take you up on that.
Evening.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
I recognize that voice.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
You were whispering to me all along.
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues, and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You did what you could. Thank you. You create the time loop?
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required to create a portal in my shrine. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I put a safeguard in place. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly to help others. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by exploiting the cycle. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but wait for someone like you to come along and see him for what he was. We are all fortunate you came along when you did.
What became of Pluto?
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
What became of Cheryl?
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
It was nice meeting you.
And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
Of course.
Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Well, that was the